guy has problems with his pitch. Why don't you sing the one song you sang? And then they're like, oh, you're the singer, dude. And I was like, I don't really want to be the singer.
Welcome to All Over the Place, a rounded third production with your hosts, Eric Porvoznik, Jim Culver, Marty Zamora, and Kathy Rankin.
Hey guys, PK Splat from Chaos. I'm here, and this is All Over the Place, where the fun sanity never ends.
Hello, and welcome back to All Over the Place. I am your host, Eric Porvoznik, and let's just get the party started, bringing in Kathy Rankin. Hello, Kathy.
Hello.
And of course, Jim Culver. How are you, Jim?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm great, but I'm still getting used to you're changing the landscapes on us every time. Same room, you're giving us a full 360.
Just trying to keep you on your toes. Just trying to keep you on your toes, dude.
I like it. I do. And Marty may be jumping in later on. We'll find out. But anyway, we've got a great guest with us today. Another hard, loud rocker, but not from Canada. This is our first non-Canadian guest in a long time, it feels like. We're going to welcome in from the eye-slicing metal of Slik Helvetika. Please welcome to All Over the Place, Michael Myers. How are you, Michael?
I'm great. If I was any better, I'd be one of you guys.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw one up to you there on that one. So
Flattery gets you everywhere.
And by throwing up there, I mean a non-alcoholic drink, soothing the throat there with a little honey and lemon and some tea. So, yeah.
Right.
So, Michael, I mentioned, the eye-slicing I can't even say medical right. Eye-slicing metal. I'm going to get this right this first or second time around.
Sure that's Steve?
I know. Of Slik Helvetika. Talk to us about Walk Through Fire, your latest album, and just what brought it to culmination.
Walk Through Fire, the band did different things. Walk Through Fire was kind of like what I did mostly on my own. The band, everybody grows up and everybody goes through changing times, and some of the members moved. Except I wasn't really done. I was done maybe for playing clubs and things like that, but I wasn't done with my music. I had written so many songs, probably 100 songs. I had some songs that I have saved up my sleeve from years ago, from all the way to new songs that I had just written. And I thought some of the lyric messages were kind of important. I thought, well, I'm not done yet. I'm going to record an album and we're going to see what happens. So the guys were present for some of the recordings, and then a lot of the recordings I did by myself and played the other instruments, and I came up with a Walk Through Fire, which was a culmination of different things from different eras, but it was kind of a tribute to, I would say in the past, maybe some of the material, some of it was wise, but a lot of it was gratuitous, like loud sex, music, rock and roll kind of a theme. This was a little bit more spiritual and close to home and about what man could be, and everything seemed to come together with all the messages and with a good variety of ballads and heavy stuff. So there it is.
Was there something you were going through that made you want to do those kinds of messages and go a little more serious?
Yes. It wasn't any critical crisis or anything like that. It was just the fact that I had expanded a lot as a human being. So a lot of things that may have interested me when I was rocking and rolling and writing some heavy metal songs were built around some themes weren't really of the same interest. I was expanding and getting into high levels of consciousness and meeting with PhDs, and I got involved in a remote viewing program. And it opened my eyes to a lot of things, and a lot of knowledge did appear that was not gleanable from the surface. So a lot of that, just taking the human mind to what we live in the day-to-day BS world, and what we're putting in front of ourselves and what the texts are as to what we really could be and what we're really here for. Kind of a big difference. And that was kind of what spurred me on to do this.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's I guess it's not a very rock and roll answer, but it's really true.
It's very interesting. Guys, what do you think of that?
Well, I'm of the mindset, rock never dies. It just metamorphosizes, and there's no real one road to get where you're going with rock and roll, especially today when I know that, AI is something that I know is on your mind in visiting your website, Michael, and everything.
Yeah.
And, like you said, it doesn't sound very rock and roll, but, I actually think it does sound rock and roll, and that you're trying new avenues. And that to me is a great form of discovery for you as an artist, I would think.
Yeah. And it's really, rock and roll and loud and foot stomping driving music is about rebellion. And what is more rebellious than becoming what you can be and rebelling against a society and a framework of a control system that wants you to be something different. It wants to make you their bitch.
Makes
I'm
sense.
saying it nicely. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, no, you can say anything you want.
Absolutely. This is all over the place. There are no rules.
All right.
Embrace the fun sanity.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
what kind of tea was that you were drinking?
It's just regular. What's a new lemon that I'm trying today? So maybe just an extra vitamin C kick.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Right.
There is no whiskey in here. I swear to God, no whiskey.
Sometimes there is, but not this time.
No argument there. No, none. But not today. And you mentioned "Bitch," of course, and you guys do a great cover of "Fox on the Run," which I want to get into that one a little bit later. But 3 songs in a row on "Walk Through Fire." You've got "Bitch," "Fox on the Run," and then "Black Widow." And I was thinking, well, I knew that "Fox on the Run" was the cover, but I'm like, well, is "Bitch" a Stones cover, and then is "Black Widow" a Motley Crue cover? But I'm like, no, a pleasant surprise, and all just the one cover out of the bunch. So with "Fox on the Run," what led you down that road? And I just have to throw in there, that is a really kick-ass. It almost has like a less of the power pop that the Sweet are so great at. You've added kind of like a little Iron Maiden galloping to that song. So talk to us about "Fox on the Run" and how it got on the radar to become a cover for you guys.
Well, so growing up, Sweet was probably one of my more favorite bands, and a big influence in the vocals and the heavy layers of vocals, and the guitar player singing the really high stuff was really appealing. But I love "Fox on the Run." I thought it was a really cool song. But you're right, it had a really poppy, kind of tap your foot kind of beat to it. So during our live set, we tried to keep things interesting. So we would do things like, we would do a really, really mean metal version of "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. And then we would throw in some Sweet, and they were mainly like segues. Like people would be like, wow, oh, now I know what it is. But the Sweet turned out that I stumbled onto a way different groove and a different way to play it, but still keep all the melody lines and everything. So, Sweet being one of my favorite bands, I think, in my opinion, when a band just does a cover of another band and it pretty much sounds like the original band, but doesn't offer anything new, why do you do it?
What's the sense? Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And like they set the bench pretty high. I mean, yes, it was 60s or 70s that was recorded and has a certain sound to it. But I think it's time to you got to bring something else to the table if you're going to do it. And it had a different kind of groove, and it kind of fell in place. And instead of doing just a one segment of it, I'm like, well, okay, we're going to record this and do the whole song. And it turned out really great. I love that song. And I think it's different enough that I wouldn't want to try and do it the same and compete with Sweet. They did a legendary job of that.
Right. And what's the reaction been like from the crowd now that you're doing not just a snippet, but the full thing?
It's very cool. They were always like, we were hoping you would do the whole song. So we did it. Yeah.
I love that you did that song, because the Sweet was one of my sister and I's favorite bands growing up. And you don't hear that a lot in interviews. No. Like they were such a huge band, but you don't hear a lot of artists ever talk about the suite, and I don't know why that is, but how did you become a fan of theirs growing up?
Well, I think Desolation Boulevard was where it started. I heard that record and I thought, wow. I thought they looked cool, but the whole thing about them, you know, what you would get at that age and that time was a vinyl record and a liner sleeve and some things, maybe magazines that you would get.
Yeah.
When I did this deep dive back into the suite and started to learn the songs and stuff like that, there was some really neat stuff that has surfaced from then to now about the history of them. And they were pretty devious. They did some pretty devious things. They were pretty cool. And they were laughing about it. Steve Priest, the bass player, was going on stage dressed like Mae West with a Hitler mustache. And kind of like when they would do these shows, they were doing some big shows in what were the shows in England that they were doing? Big Top of the Pops, right?
Top of the Pops,
I lived in Scotland when they were on Top of the Pops. That's how we became fans, because we lived over there.
Well, I know there were some pictures of them in some funkadelic pantsuits, but on the back there was special messages that you would never see on Top of the Pop. When you would see them from the back, you would see all these messages, and like I was like, okay, these guys are a little bit devious. So, yeah,
I'm just imagining producers and directors. No, not that camera. Go to the next camera. No.
I think they did it on purpose. They knew they were going to be filmed from the front, and it was going to be okay, and they were kind of laughing about it. I'm guessing. I wasn't there.
I like that. Almost like a little competition with who could be a little kookier, them or Slade. I like that.
Yes.
Oh, love Slade.
Walk Through Fire, your first album in about 10 years from a Slik Helvetika standpoint.
Yeah.
But a lot of the singles were released in the last few years leading up to it. All of them, I'm trying to remember, there's 4 singles, but they all wound up on Walk Through Fire. So from a creative standpoint, how do you, and especially in today's age of singles and, you know, just one song going on at a time with streaming media, how does that affect your creative process as an album experience?
I don't think it really does, just because we look at this now and go, oh, there's a full album, and there's probably more than an album. I recorded enough material for probably 2. But at the time, this idea was bowling me over, and I was very enthusiastic about it, and I wanted to finish it, got that one done, moved to the next one. And it was all a process of like never looking in as a whole, like a whole album. I just looked at like, I'm doing this. And I think it was up for grabs. And it was uncertain a little bit whether another album would come out, whether it would be Slik Helvetika or whether it would be something on my own. My name is, I'm not a superstar, other than I share the name with this arch villain guy that they make movies about, and they just keep making them no matter how crappy they are. But as it all came together, I just was enthused and wanted to put it out there. It was, again, back from the standpoint of like, I'm not done yet. I'm going to write the best music I can and do that. And that was what it was all about. But then it all culminated and went together really well for a full-length album. I hope that answered your question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
You share a name with not only the slasher villain, but one of the most famous comedic actors of all time. So is there like a special mojo attached to the name Mike Myers that just kind of creates a certain success, or what do you think?
I hope there's a country dude named Michael Myers too. So there you go. But I worked, we work our day jobs as part of this while we get through music. And I worked in high-end RV sales, and there was just an older couple. And I said, my name was Michael Myers. And he goes, Michael Myers. And by the reaction, it was like, okay, he's probably the slasher fan or seen those movies. And he went back and he goes, Karuvi, baby.
Yeah.
It just took me by surprise. He was like, oh, it was pretty funny. So,
have you seen the movie Baby Driver before?
No.
Okay, that's a comedy, but there's a scene where bank robbers are told to get a Michael Myers mask for their bank robbery, and they show and the guy shows up with Austin Powers masks.
Oh, wow.
It says what? It was Mike Myers. So I think you get a kick out of that gag since
I like them.
Michael and I are Pennsylvania guys, opposite ends of the state. Of course, I'm wearing my Oneater/Wonder shirt today. And I think about it, Western PA is really not a whole lot of rock from there. I think Donnie Iverson, the Cruisers, but Rusted Root, more of an earthy sound. But southeastern Pennsylvania, between you guys are Slik Helvetika and of course Destroyer. I mean Cinderella, Brittany Fox, Kicks, seeping over there into Maryland and Jersey and everything.
Yeah.
What is it out there that you think drives such hard rocking sounds?
It was pretty easy to answer that question if you go back and you dial the time machine back a little bit and you go back to the era where Cinderella, Brittany Fox, and different bands like that were playing. There was really pretty much an original music scene created by the Empire Rock Room and a lot of the clubs in the area. And any given night of the week, you could go out and see an original band performing, and it was a pretty good attendance. And it was just like a hotbed, and it just bred some talent. And then we were very close to the Allentown scene as well. And there were some pretty good bands in Allentown that virtually got ignored. But that was a scene towards Philadelphia. And that became infectious for me. So I don't know that scene exists anymore, but that love of music does still exist. So I still have the fire to write music like that and stuff like that. I haven't done much as far as visit even the West, because it's such a long drive to get there, right? It's one wide state, but it takes forever. It's like you could go see 5 other states this way or one this way.
It's true. Michael, I have a question because Eric mentioned briefly AI. What is your take on AI and how it's impacting music?
I have a way harsh vision and attitude towards AI. I think AI certainly has its place and can calculate faster than a human can, but AI has always been programmed by humans. I think with some of the things that I'm touching on during the Walk Through Fire song and the different things on the albums, I'm often likening the human mind to that of a computer. The computer doesn't have all the information in that laptop or whatever you're watching. It's going into a bigger thing called the internet that has this body of information. So we have 5 senses. And do we have more than 5? And we are only taught that we have 5. So we don't ever hone in on 6, 7, or 8. But we have an ability to get information from other places at other times. And this is true. Just I know it because I've had the experience of being a remote viewer. This can be done. And the fact that a computer is doing that. We live in some dangerous times where the media wants us to think one way and that way alone. And I think we're used to potential, and we're farmed almost. Who's giving this AI the information? Is it good information? Is it bad information? When you stop getting the information and stop being inquisitory or weighing the facts against each other and formulating your own opinion and buying that of the computer, I think it's a problem. It opens yourself up to like, I'm just going to get dumber and let this computer do all the work for me. Mm-hmm. It's present in artwork covers. That makes sense for a lot of bands because we don't have to worry about a copyright because the AI makes it and it's very, very clean, very quick and easy. But I know AI makes music. So every once in a while, I own a retail store and we listen to pretty much heavy metal, right? But there'll be an algorithm and it'll throw something that I haven't heard, and I look at it, and once in a while, it's an AI generated band. And just having grown up and knowing how hard it is to make ends meet for an artist and for somebody trying, it's really hard to look at AI as a fair competition, and realizing like you're not making and getting what the gratitude that you should get from this. And there's AI out there competing with you, and it isn't even a band.
Right.
Right.
Well, I know that, there will always be a place for live music, and AI is never going to take that over, especially when it comes to rock and roll.
Right.
We, as people who need that pulsing beat going through our systems, it can't be replaced. Live music will keep it alive.
It can't be.
And now, Michael, we have reached the point in the show where it's a new segment. You're going to be our third person doing our new segment. And yes, Kathy, just to introduce it, I've got to go to it.
Make up your mind, dude.
Iron Maiden or Judas Priest?
Judas Priest.
Bon Scott or Brian Johnson?
Bon Scott.
Delving into the region out there now, some Cinderella, Long Cold Winter or Heartbreak Station?
Fear of the Night.
Oh, there! Oh, wow! We're going off the grid.
We're going off grid for that one.
The first one is throwing his own thing in there.
I like, yes, the debut of that. So, and you brought the format a little bit earlier, one beloved and surrounding me right here, but an LP or a CD?
Ooh,
A CD.
really?
Interesting. I will.
Interesting.
From a creative standpoint, is that just because you can listen to it all in one sitting without having, and you can get your message across from beginning to end without having to flip the side, or it offers you more of a time, or there's no time constraint really, just like you got 80 minutes instead of 40 to 45.
I think my mind goes to like the sonic quality of a CD being better, but it might just be I had a better stereo at the time than the LP. That's what I was thinking.
Hey, there are, again, I will once again remind people there are no right or wrong answers on this. Quiet, Jim. And no, I like that. Interesting take. And finally, on the road or in the studio?
Oh boy, in the studio.
In the studio, okay.
Oh, interesting.
I like it. Some curveballs thrown there. I like it.
You like studio recording?
Yeah. It's not that I have the control. I mean, live is really cool, and the idea of a different surrounding, different monitors, different situation every night, and the people are great.
Yeah.
But when recording, it's kind of like I'm in my wheelhouse with everything that I can do from home, basically, from my base. And also I'm writing and I'm really in my element. And I'm encompassing some new stuff every time I write something, a new idea. And I'm very excited about new ideas at times.
Nice.
Well, are there any plans to be on the road anytime soon this year to promote Walk Through Fire?
Yes. So right now, as I had explained, the band more or less went its separate ways, and not because we weren't getting along or anything like that, just because life happens. People move, things happen like that. People get promotions and things at their day jobs. So right now I'm still in the process of filling out the live band. I would have liked to have had the live band together months ago, but I also had a hand operation where one of my joints in my left hand, my guitar playing hand, was fused together with 3 titanium rods. So I've healed really great from that. I wouldn't even know it happened, but I'm a little behind.
You were punching your fist through a wall like Tom Petty, were you?
No, okay. I don't know. The doctor said it was just from playing guitar for many years and dislocating my shoulder, not my shoulder, my thumb to get there. Playing classical as well. I play classical too.
Wow.
And we got some pretty strange stretches and weird things. So I guess I have dislodged my thumb. However, I'm not afraid to live on the edge. I have screws, rods, and this one from motocross. I have everything is filled in. The hollow bones are now full of bone from MMA stuff. So I've lived a pretty dangerous life, but
you sound like a daredevil.
Yeah, that's what adrenaline is where it's at.
Adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Michael,
take that, Colonel Steve Austin, Bionic Man. Michael's got you.
I got it. Yeah.
I have one quick question, because you just mentioned being a guitarist. You're also a vocalist as well as songwriter. So is there one of those three that you consider your primary instrument or your primary talent, or is it equally distributed?
I think it's equally distributed. I started out as just a guitar player, and the ideal dream when you're young is like, oh, I'm just going to play guitar and I'm going to be really good at what I do and specialize. We're going to have a front man. He's going to be able to entertain. He's going to interact with the people. He's going to sing. And the first studio situation that I had, they were like, this guy has problems with his pitch. Why don't you sing the one song you sing? And then they're like, oh, you're the singer, dude. And I was like, I don't really want to be the singer. So, but it's kind of this. When you start writing in the early days, you might write around the lick, a guitar lick. And it might be stagnant. It might just be in the key of A, so let's say. But then if you come up with or hear an interesting vocal melody, now it can be with another person, but considering that I'm also the writer or the vocalist, I can weave this together as like a whole picture. Whereas a lot of times when people have separate, it's really interesting. This guy has a guitar idea, this guy has a vocal idea, and they come together, they're like magical. But there's certain elements about it that really work together. It's like having the pieces of the puzzle as opposed to not having the pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Very cool.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that ability, to be able to do all three.
No, there are some guitar players that are outstanding guitar players, but they have never written a song. They always rely on somebody else to come up with words and vocal melody lays to fit around it.
Yeah. This is what I love about like Wolfgang Van Halen.
Oh.
Wolfie, his dad was obviously brilliant, one of the most brilliant guitar players.
Yeah.
But Wolfie having the talent to do all the instruments and such a great vocalist.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So very cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
And Wolfgang is a very big proponent of natural art. And if I may quote him in regards to AI art, fuck that shit.
Well, that's kind of what I said in a nicer way.
Yeah, you were far more
You're not so
eloquent.
worried about saying
Or I
bitch.
hit it when
Yeah, saying bitch earlier, Michael. No, Marty's not here. He's a bad influence on my.
He really is.
Wolfgang. Yeah, that's the excuse that this Catholic will go with. Yeah, why not? But Michael, I'm digging the Slik Helvetika, and actually, just very quickly before we let you go, how'd you come up with the name, especially coming from such a good rock and roll strong destroyer? How Slik Helvetika? What was the impetus for that?
Well, it was number one. I thought it sounded cool, but obviously it confuses people with the way it's spelled. So I tried to spell it phonetically, but it still gets spelled wrong. But there was a little bit of meaning behind it. Like you can use it twofold. Helvetica is a font, so Helvetica is letters, words. Slik Helvetika, smart words, clever words, or whatever. You can pair it together like that, but also the meaning came from what a lot of people don't seem to be aware of, including, well, I'll explain it later. There was a tribe of warriors called the Helveti that were present during when Romans ruled the world, and they were probably one of the last people to robustly protest and remain free from the Romans. So when the Romans would pass through the land, they would do all kinds of crazy things, like they would make them submit underneath a yoke and do everything like that. But they're pretty fearless warriors. And if you want to do a deep dig into that, the Helveti are that. So Slik Helvetika, and they hail from the Switzerland region during the Celtic era. But I was playing with Crocus at one point, and they had a different bass player, and it was after they were very popular and they toured with Priest, and then they came back to US, and US wasn't the same. But anyway, it was a new bass player, and he said, "What does that mean?" And I'm thinking, like, you're from Switzerland. On your frank, it says Confederato di Helveti, and like he just was not aware of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Some people don't read liner notes. Some people don't read their currency. Apparently, I don't.
No, apparently not.
Well, I did, and learning that it's a lot more metal now. I'm digging a little bit more.
Yeah,
And,
I picked up on the font thing, but I would never have guessed any of the rest of that. So very
Yeah.
I love etymology, and that is kick ass. So yeah,
Yeah.
and folks, make sure you're heading over to Slik Helvetika, and that's SlikHelvetika.com. Check out. My last name's Provoznik, Michael. I can do things pretty well with those foreign words. But yeah, check them out. Be sure you're following them over on Facebook and Instagram, and also their channel over on YouTube. Check out the videos. Check out all the new tunes, and keep your eyes open for when they're hitting the road later this year. Fingers crossed. You come out here to the Southwest.
yeah.
Awesome. We will try.
And the Northwest for here.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't forget. I knew you'd chime in there, Jim. I love it. But Michael, thanks so much for joining us. And
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Check out Slik Helvetika, and we'll be back really soon here on All Over the Place. Till then, everybody, take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All over the place, where the fun sanity never ends.